Dude, are you drunk?
Maybe.
Welcome to the Booz and Broz podcast, where hosts Matt Lytle and Chris Califf discuss everything paranormal, cryptic, horror, true crime, and of course, booze. So grab your favorite beverage and come have a drink with the Booz and Broz.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 5 of the Booz and Bros podcast. I'm your host, Matt Lytle.
Juan Pablo Montoya.
With my co-host, Juan Pablo
What?
Montoya.
Yeah,
I like it.
You make fun of me every week for saying my name, so I just come with something different. So clearly,
Again,
I want to be a Colombian drug lord.
Well, it's better. And I don't make fun of you.
Eat me.
I judge it, remember? I'm not dictating, I'm judging.
You're a judgmental prick.
I know.
I like
You're
your hat.
the only one
way.
who thinks that.
You like
Thank
my
you.
You like my hat because I like your hat.
No, I don't. Okay, so for you guys watching and listening, Chris Califf has a Los Angeles Dodgers hat on. I live in Los Angeles, but I'm a huge Chicago Cubs fan because I'm from the Midwest and go Cubs. So he wears that hat thinking of me, but he also knows I hate the Dodgers. So he's being a prick right now.
You know, some things never change, and I am one of those things. So you pretty much know what to expect. If I find something that you don't like, I'm going to go above and beyond to make sure that I use that to my advantage. So there's that.
Well, that's the thing though, is like I know what you don't like, but I know what you do like. And I try to wear what you do like. So for instance, I am wearing a Welcome to Haddonfield hat, Michael Myers hat, Halloween hat, that Califf gifted me in the mail. I love the hat. I don't wear bent build hats. I'm a flat build guy, snapback guy, but I do really enjoy this hat and I've been wearing it all weekend. So you're welcome.
Well, you know, it's a birthday present. So happy
Yes.
belated birthday.
Thank you.
Got more crap
Thank you, my
coming
brother. Yes. Oh, I do. That's right. Okay. we won't discuss.
And as you guys can tell, those who are watching this today are probably like, what the fuck happened to Caleb's face? So I decided to have a little bit of fun with the beard. I've been listening to a little bit more Motorhead lately. So Lemmy, the frontman from Motorhead, rest in peace, Lemmy.
I know.
Man, that when he died, that hurt. Anyway,
Yeah.
this is the way Lemmy used to rock his beard. So in honor of that, I'm rocking the Lemmy today.
If you follow Chris on Instagram, you know that he usually posts stories with the band he's listening to that day, and it was definitely Motorhead today and yesterday, and so I get it. I do the same.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of my thing. You know,
I would love to do a podcast more about like music and like shit we like personally like besides ghosts and creepy stuff that we think is awesome. Nah, I don't think we're that interesting.
We should do one on psychics at some point. I really want to do that. I really would like to do an episode based entirely on psychics because I think that'd be fun.
I'm dead
Speaking
serious.
of that, segue into psychics, the talking board, my friend. Tonight we're going to discuss spiritual awakening with a talking board. Oh my God, I'm excited.
So yeah, the spirit board, the Ouija board, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, it is also a talking board, which brings me into the origin of the talking board, which is what it was called first.
Before we do that, there's one thing we do on this podcast every week, and that is get white girl wasted. Every week. So, in honor of getting white girls wasted and half our name being Booz, let's talk about our drink, man.
We drink. That's right. So what you guys heard while he was talking was me shaking up my drink. We have the same drink this time. That has to do with Ouija boards. It is called the Spirit Summoner cocktail. Plain and simple. Do you want to say what's in it or do you want me to? It's very, very simple.
I don't have the list. I don't have the list in front of me. So
there's no list needed. Okay. All right. So let me pour it in, and then I know you already have yours poured in. So let's pour it in, show everybody, and then we'll see what's in it. Oh yeah.
Mine has a little bit more vodka than yours does, though.
Yeah.
Mine
I
has a
don't
little more
know, man.
vodka.
I put a lot in. So
Why does everything look like Shrek piss? Everything that we drink looks like Shrek piss or like milk.
dude, the thing about looking up recipes for stuff that we talk about, for all these haunted stuff, Halloween stuff that we talk about, they all have some sort of green ingredients. I don't know what it is, because this is 3 of our 5 that is a green, like Yoda blood Shrek piss drink.
Yeah, 2 of mine look like milk. What was the first one we did? The ghosted,
Oh, ghosted
right? That looked
cocktail.
like
Let's
that
not
was
talk about
sweet
that.
milk. And then I did the Ichabod. I did the Ichabod that was
That's right.
looked like eggnog.
Hmm.
So I've got 3 green and 2 milk. Like this is weird. I don't know how I feel about this right now.
Anyways, this week we have the Spirit Summoner, which contains a shot of vodka of your choice, and it includes
Tito's.
5 ounces of apple pucker or apple
Tito's.
martini mix, whatever you want. And yes, I have Tito's too.
Tito's.
That's it. That's all it
Tito's.
is. That's all it is. And you got to
Tito's.
chill it, and then here it is. Tito's. Yes, we know.
Tito's.
We know. Tito's, by the way, if you guys are listening, sponsors.
Tito's.
All right.
I
Cheers,
have,
brother.
I have more than 1 shot of Tito's in mine, just for the record.
So do I. Cheers. Oh my gosh. Mine's great. Mine is really good. Mine's very
Mine tastes
appley.
like happiness in a cup.
That's probably the best way to describe this drink is happiness in a cup. There's also another way to describe happiness in a cup.
2 girls, 1 cup.
Ew. Why would you bring that up?
It was the only cup reference I had, brother. I didn't have any other cup reference.
Dude, can I be honest with you, man? I had no idea where I was going with that one. But the origin of the Ouija board, we got to get back to it.
I made it real for you, brother. That's what happened. You see, I took what you did, and you kind of just half-assed it, and I took it all the way to the fucked up. So you're welcome.
And that's what you do.
Yeah.
You take it to the fucked up, yes. 1891, February, was when the Ouija board was officially sold. It was sold as a talking board. The idea, it was sold as a board where you could find out what your future is, find out what your present is, find out what your past is. It wasn't necessarily sold as, hey, come talk to spirits. But the idea came from exactly that. Caliph, you're a history buff. I want to ask you, so 1891, let's talk a little bit before that. Let's talk 1850s and 1860s up until basically post-Civil War. How was spiritualism back then? How was it different from how it is now?
Well, one, it wasn't as frowned upon or looked down on like it is. It was a way of life for everybody back then. Things like psychics and going to get a psychic reading or using them to talk to your loved ones, or a talking board or a seance. Things like this were commonplace. I mean, they were things that would take place every single day. Your Friday night wasn't going to the bar and twerking and, going and getting some D. It was a seance. You know what I mean? That's how you would spend your weekend nights. Those were the things that were huge pieces because they were trying to understand so much more what was happening versus now where it's like, you're fake. Like it wasn't that. It was so much more of a world of belief and people actually thinking there was more to this.
Yeah. And table turning. I mean, there were so many different ways to communicate with the dead. That was the idea the creation of this talking board came from. But again, it wasn't sold as that. And then eventually it came to fruition that, that's exactly what this is. So the name Ouija actually came from, there were 4 businessmen who sold this talking board at first. So this psychic medium, who was a sister-in-law of one of the 4 businessmen who found it, did the board herself. And the word Ouija, or Ouija, however you want to pronounce it, we say Ouija, came up from the board, and then it said good luck. But again, the history of the Ouija board is very debatable. I found a lot of things that said Ouija came from the French word oui and was a mix of a couple other words that mean yes and no. And then Ouija means good luck in, I can't remember what language, but anyways, I don't know which one is a complete fact, but that's just what I read and what I researched.
The crazy thing about the Ouija, right? So I call it the Ouija because it's the Ouija.
I love
Anyway,
it.
the crazy thing about the Ouija is that it really doesn't. Everything is documented, but not well documented. So you don't really know. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, hold on. Weird shit's been happening in the house. Have I told you that? Totally off topic.
No.
Speaking of Ouijas, like right now, there's just ticking coming from above me. My bedroom door just the other night, it didn't close. Like, you know how like when the wind comes through and the suction of the wind can close the door and
Yeah.
like that? No, you're talking.
Yeah. Are you serious? Get out of here. What was that?
The top of the shaker just flicked off right by me. I'm not even joking, bro. I am not even joking. It is sitting right by my drink.
Dude, I have goosebumps right now.
Okay, this is a tad bit weird, guys. Apparently, we're
Dude.
having activity on episode 5 of Broz. So let's talk about this. As much as I want to talk about the Ouija board and all that stuff, I want to talk about this for this podcast.
Let's do it.
This has been the most impossible thing to film. This
Yes.
podcast, we have had nothing but issues trying to get this episode of the podcast done. Like, we've tried to do this whole Ouija board thing for a minute now, and fuck it, I'm done, because every time we try, weird shit is happening.
We have tried to film this 4 to 5 times. And just so many technical issues, so many weird scheduling things that happen. In the first 4 episodes, Caleb and I, we filmed every single Wednesday night, and everything goes so smoothly. But this Ouija board one, I mean, we're not filming this on a regular Wednesday. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, we're filming this a day and a half before it's going to come out. Like so much weird shit has happened because we're starting to talk about spirit boards. I mean, I've been researching it and stuff, and that was weird. Dude, that is
literally, so the shaker is off to my left, right? So it's just literally right here within arm's reach. And the top just popped, it just bing, ding, 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 onto the table. Because so Matt's in his room filming this. I'm at my dining room table with a black sheet behind me. And literally that just popped off. Like, no joke, literally just went bing.
We heard it. I heard it, and I saw the look on your face. If you guys are listening to this, you can watch what's happening on YouTube. Just letting you know, like, this is not like pre-planned or anything. Obviously, if you listen to the first 4, we don't pre-plan this shit. We just talk. Dude,
Yeah.
that is. Dude,
What was that?
I don't know.
What
That
the
was
hell
not-
was that?
That was not my. Did you hear that?
Yeah, the scratch, like
It's
the
Yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
touching my desk or anything. It was.
something's talking through the audio.
What do you hear?
I'm just wah, 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 like type. For those of you who are listening right now, we are literally having some kind of weird interference on our audio.
There's no noise. I promise you, there's no noise around me.
This is insanity. We're literally having activity happen to us as we're trying to film this episode.
All I
Like,
gotta say
sorry
is,
to like.
this is the life of ghost hunters, but this is also what happens when you talk about some heavy spiritual shit. So if you guys are sitting around talking and bringing all this energy up about Ouija boards and dark entities and what all this shit can happen. Dude, this is nuts.
This is
like, I'm
this
not
is
even,
insanity. Like
dude,
I would
thing
love to
flew off.
to carry on with to carry on with the Ouija board. I'd love to do that, but like at this point, we really can't, because apparently our spirit summoners summon something.
Are summoning spirits. Okay. Let's
So
just.
for the first
I
time
do
in
want
the
to talk,
history
but
of
like,
hold on.
go
For
ahead.
the first time in the history of the paranormal, a spirit just hijacked a paranormal podcast.
This
We
is
just
insane.
got hijacked by a spirit.
Dude, this is weird. I feel weird right now.
Okay, so here's what I need you to do. use your empathness and talk about how you feel. What's going on?
I just don't. It feels like something is. I don't know what that something is. Something, I don't think it's dark, but I think it's been around either you or me for a long time. I feel like it's from our road trip this time last year filming Ghost Loop, and I feel like it's going back and forth in between you and I on this podcast, our laptops, or however, dimension, the plane, whatever it's going through right now. Because what are the odds of that shit happening to you, and 2 minutes later, I hear scratching to my right side on my desk? Like something, I don't know if,
This
I think
is
it's just fucking
insane.
with us.
Shh.
Was that a woman?
That was some talking to the audio.
Was that a woman?
No.
This is freaking weird.
It's talking through the audio right now.
Dude, your audio just went like, I've never heard that on this podcast. Your audio was like really, really, really quiet, and then it went really loud. I swear
Okay,
to
guys.
God, dude. Okay, hold on.
You cannot make this shit up. I get that,
So-
that like, you probably think that as you're listening right now that we're like over-exaggerating. Literally. You hear that ding? You got that metal ding?
Wasn't me. I didn't hear it. I think something's around you, dude. I think something's around you. And it was
Wrong
right when you
time
started
of the
talking
year,
about
asshole.
yeah, it's that time of year. You were just talking about what's been happening in your apartment too. Damn. So I just want to skip ahead to some stuff. Talking about Ouija boards and all, man, what do you think these things carry? What can they carry? Like, what do you think the possibility of all these boards carrying energy?
Well,
Because
one
I'm
of my
feeling that
absolute
shit
favorite,
now.
yeah. One of my
I've got one behind
one
me.
of my absolute favorite Ouija board stories from back in the day. I read it. This is probably 10 years ago. And there used to be forums where people would talk about what happened. And this guy was talking about playing with the Ouija board with his wife. And then he woke up later that night to his wife moaning in pleasure with nobody there. And this dude was like, swore up and down that a demon or that a spirit made love to his wife because he played with the Ouija board.
Because he played with the Ouija board?
Yeah.
And was
Something's
his
talking.
wife?
Something's talking. Hold on. Something's talking in the audio. It's so weird, dude. It's like something seriously talking in the audio.
Dude, it's quiet here. I don't hear anything.
Same here. Like it's literally quiet.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've got
All right,
I've
yeah,
got
let's
French fries.
not make the.
I've got French fries and a spirit summer. That's what I've got. Like,
Yeah, I have a spirit. Oh, I forgot. The spirit summoner has the sprinkles in it. Ladies and gentlemen, the last ingredients is this. Maybe this is what we needed for the spirit. I was gonna say maybe this is what we need. Maybe the spirit knew that we made this freaking drink wrong. So what I just poured in was green, like green little toppings, sugar toppings that you'd put on like a cake. All right. Oh, it's clumped together.
I'm sitting here.
They're not really
This
sprinkles.
crap has happened.
Dude, this is crazy. Okay, whoever's fucking with our shit, stop. Like, stop. Like, I don't care who you are, even if you're a very, very nice ghost who's just playing with us, please stop. We got to get through this.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways.
We've tried way too hard to get this podcast done.
And we're going to finish it tonight. So what I think of a board, too, and what it carries, I do think it can carry energy. I mean, geez, with the spiritualism of the 1800s and how psychics would get together with people and say, hey, you know, your loved one post-Civil War, post-World War I, whatever it was, you can communicate with your loved one through this board. Let's do it together. all of that energy, all of that, it's not just energy, it's the belief that all of these people have. Even skeptics who don't even believe in ghosts, they won't come around Ouija boards. Even
But why?
what?
Where did the negative connotation for Ouija boards come from? They started out with such a positive message, right? Like you
I
can be
agree.
with your loved ones, that type of stuff. When the hell did it turn that these things were the open door to
Well,
hell?
Well, you think about it, bro. I mean, we've discussed on this podcast, and we talk all the time what media can do, what movies can do, television, all of this stuff. And in my opinion, I do believe it was because late 60s, early 70s, the movie The Exorcist came out. Some TV shows started doing it, and they started making fun of it, that something scary would come through, all of that stuff. But I think the main cause of the complete scare started from 1973, The Exorcist, with obviously Reagan, the 10-year-old girl, I think she was 10, getting possessed. And
Well,
obviously that movie's terrifying.
But here's the thing: like you have somebody like Alexander Graham Bell, the guy who did the telephone, right?
Mm-hmm.
He created something called the spirit phone, right? A telephone that can commune with spirits, no different than a talking board, all that type of stuff.
Right.
You have this mass infatuation with the supernatural, the occult, the paranormal from back at that point. And then you look at it from mid 1800s to mid 1900s, and it was this innocent fascination with what was happening around, spirit boards, all that type of stuff. Come 1970, you seem to circumvent all the things that are happening at this point, and now it all becomes evil.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it has to do with movies. And then, of course, you come into the 80s and horror movies started using it. Scary TV shows started using it. Ghost stories around Halloween started saying, oh, they were playing with the Ouija board. The word Ouija became scary. And, to now, I mean, you and I are on a ghost hunting show, and we've hunted with people in our whole careers that would never touch a Ouija board. How is a Ouija board? If you and I went into an abandoned asylum and had this Ouija board behind me with a planchette and sat there, how is doing that and trying to communicate with spirits different than pulling out an SP7 spirit box or a digital recorder? Do you think it's any different?
In my opinion, no. In my opinion, I do not think it's any different. I don't think that the Ouija board is a gateway to hell by any stretch of the imagination. I don't. I believe that you get what you put out. So if your intent is to go in there with malice or with some kind of fucked upness, that's what you're going to get in return. However, I believe it's based on the person, right? So we go in there, we use a Ouija board, we're trying to commune with inmate 70. I think our results would be different than, say, an exorcist walking in there trying to do it, because I believe, like, again, the intent you put behind the board, like anything else, the energy you put in is what's going to kind of dictate where you're going to go with it, right? And if we go into a place and we provoke and we're assholes, we're going to get asshole responses. And we go into a place and we're kind and we ask questions and we do the right thing, we're going to get kind, intelligent responses. So I think the spirit board, like any other piece of equipment we use, whether it be dowsing rods or any of that type of stuff, what the intent you put into it is what you're going to receive back.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't see a whole lot of difference. I used to think it was different because, I mean, when I first started ghost hunting as a teenager, like I was like, oh, a Ouija board. Like I wasn't afraid to do it, and I did it, but I still was like, oh my gosh, this is so much more intense than just ghost hunting. Like it's so different. But yeah, man, as I've investigated and learned my craft of being an empath and all, I do think it's very similar. Do I think it's a doorway to hell? No, but I do believe that. Yeah, I do believe anything can really come through. But I think it's the same with the spirit box. Anything can come through in a spirit box. I mean, you and I, when we were on the road this time last year filming Ghost Loop with our team, we had entities come through that were from a whole nother state, a whole nother, ghost hunt that we did 4 years ago. That's why I don't think it's any different. I think it's a ghost hunting tool, and I think it's the intent you put behind it.
Now, if you make a Ouija board, you know what I mean? You're putting a lot of energy into that. So I can see that kind of tweaking the way it is, right? Because you're literally putting energy into making something. Right. Exactly. And everything falls into, and this is in life, this goes back to Good versus Evil, episode 2. It's all built in the intent and the perception of what you're bringing to the table. Yeah. And if you're bringing a pure good intent to the table, chances are you're going to get that in return. If you're bringing I'm going to use a talking board to scare myself and be a prick, you're opening a door for something to come in and smack you around, because your intent and why you're doing it isn't exactly the righteous method. You know what I mean?
Yeah. have you done a Ouija board? And if so, what's like your most intense story with doing a Ouija board?
I haven't used the Ouija board as much as somebody in my position would assume. One of the scariest ones, we were doing a Ouija board session, and the question asked, how
Where
many
at?
people are here?
Where were you
This
guys
was
at?
a personal residence. We were a personal residence many years ago.
Okay.
And it was the client's discretion. They wanted to use one. They requested we use one. They actually had one there. I'm like, oh, this is great. So we do it. And we ask, how many people are there is the question, right? So there's 5 of us in the house, 3 ghost hunters, 2 homeowners. The answer was 6. 5 of us plus 1 of them. So that was one of those moments where I was like, well, first off, ghosts can do math. That's rad. Like, cool. They can count. I was actually super impressed by that. But 2, for it to be like, yeah, there's 5 of you and 1 of me. That was one of those things where it was like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Pretty scary. So I've done I did a Ouija board. So I've lived here in Southern California for 2 years, and I've only done it once here. I won't say where because it's kind of a personal space, but I did it in my room with one of my best friends here. And if he's listening, I think you remember this. Not a whole lot came through, but I definitely felt energy around me in my room, and I kind of had to stop. But the scariest story, I did it blindfolded one time. And it was with a person that I was very, very, very close to at the time. And we were in a very haunted manor in Indiana. And I had never done it blindfolded before. Was I nervous? Not really. I trusted that person
doesn't
with
that
everything.
defeat the purpose?
What?
But to do a talking board blindfolded, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose?
It's called an experiment.
I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just curious.
No, it's called an experiment.
Yeah,
I wanted to see.
You're taking away the one sense that is needed for the fucking talking board, right? You have to
Exactly. That was the whole point.
They don't make the fuckers in Braille, so they don't make the fuckers in Braille. I'm just
let me finish my story. Okay, so everyone listening, A, don't do it blindfolded. It's stupid. B, you in your mind. Okay. So here's the thing. A lot of people argue that it is you and me. If we did a Ouija board, it's you and me eyeing it and moving it with our. It's some type of muscle. It's like it's an unconscious muscle that we use, and it's moving and it makes words, right? Well, we're like, okay, fuck that. Let's just see if it makes words when we're not looking. So we did it for about an hour, and we had a couple cameras on us. And again, this was at a very haunted place in Indiana. And most of the time, there were no words. It would move, but it wouldn't really make a whole lot of words. But it did make a couple words out, and it did say goodbye a lot. But the creepiest thing, and when I felt, and you know me very well, and you know when I feel shit, the creepiest, most intense feeling was when it would do this. And it would do a circle, and it would go woo back and forth, and it would do a circle. And I'm like, you're not doing this, are you? She was like, no. And like, that is when I was like, this is creeping me the hell out. So here's the crazy part about this story. It's not the present of when it happened. It was the aftermath. About 2 days later, we were sitting on her couch, and her purse was hanging on the door going into her kitchen. And this door, we watched it with our own eyes. The purse moved, and no one was home. The purse moved, and then the door closed. And I've never felt such negative energy in her house the whole time that we were together. That very next day, we got in this very uncharacteristic fight. It wasn't an argument. It wasn't a bicker. It had no substance to a fight. It was just a brutal fight. And you know me as a brother, as a friend. I don't have panic attacks. I don't stress out. I don't go crazy over. I've had one panic attack in my life, and it was that exact night. And I kid you not, the next morning we woke up and we're like, what the fuck happened last night? And we're like, I guarantee you it has to do with the Ouija board. It has to do with what we just did last weekend. And I kid you not, man. And like we woke up, we weren't fighting anymore. I mean, we went to bed like completely pissed at each other. We woke up and we're like, what the hell? Like, that was not us. And I kid you not, man. And from there, it goes back to the intent. I think we had the intent to experiment, but I also think we had the intent of, okay, we're kind of nervous for this. We're kind of scared. We had cameras on us. And I think we opened up a door to something darker. And I think it knew that that person and I had such a tight relationship, you know what I mean? And it wanted to tear that apart. And that's what I got out of that. So I do not suggest anybody trying it blindfolded. But again, if you're open to experiment and stuff, I would never tell anybody to never, I guess.
My favorite response I've ever gotten on a Ouija board, like hands down, my favorite response I've ever gotten was abracadabra bitches.
That's awesome. I hope that spirit is the one that's fucking with us now, because whoever said that, if I was a spirit, that's like something we would say, right? That's something you say, abracadabra, bitches.
Yeah, like that was my favorite response. But as far as Ouija boards go, like they just have, I think the mindset people have on them is wrong, in my opinion. I'm kind of the guy that goes against the grain when it comes to what's acceptable and what's not via ghost hunting. I'm okay with that.
Do you believe that these Ouija boards, I mean, do you believe that it really is a
like
tool
psychics,
to paranormal investigate?
Like psychics, 90% of the time, they get shit.
But there's that 10%. I mean, you're
everybody
being straight up honest.
Not everybody can be chip coffee. Like, let's be fucking real. You can't have that kind of sex appeal and that kind of psychic ability. Like, Chip coffee. Cheers, buddy.
That sex appeal, Chip. That's right. Chip, by the way, love to meet that guy someday. Yeah, his Twitter is.
You're working with.
His Twitter is hilarious. He does not hold anything back. Straight up.
Good.
Straight up. I know, right? Oh, I know you would. You're the same way. So you think 90% of the time when people use Ouija boards, that it's like 90% somebody moving it or fake. You do believe that?
But I don't think it's subconscious. I don't think it's conscious, right? I think it's more subconscious. I think it's more of a reflex. I think that they want so badly, and we've dealt with this in the field. People want so badly to believe something's there that they will, I don't know, push things to their favor a little bit, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, from when I was 16 investigating with friends to doing it professionally on television. Yeah. I mean, we've seen it all through whatever level you are as an investigator.
Right.
I mean, I agree. I do think one of my big things is, you know, I'm not going to talk anybody down from doing a Ouija board session. Again, like we said earlier, have a good intent. Why not? Because I'm going to get to it. Have a good intent and all, but always
experiment. Let me be a hater for a second.
What?
No, let me be a hater for a second. You are encouraging people to do the devil's work. You're a bastard.
Stop it.
Most people on the internet.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not telling people they should, but I'm just saying, if you and I are approached by somebody.
Why the fuck not? You said it best. Why the fuck not? Always.
Right.
Always experiment.
Try
everything twice. Try twice.
That's what the paranormal field is for. It's to experiment. And as long as you have good intent and know what the hell you're doing, there's nothing I would talk you out of doing.
This is my fourth one.
Fourth one? Yeah, I made mine double and I just finished it. So I'm feeling really confident right now.
I'm feeling it.
I did not do that. I did not sway back.
You totally just swayed. You did the you did that.
No, I'm good. But
all right, guys. So it's last call.
Wait.
It's last call here at Booz and Broz. So before Matt goes into his final monologue, I want to say this week's Spirit Summoner brought to you by Tito's.
Tito's. Hello. Yo, you know what we need to do next episode? We need to grab our Tito's bottles and just literally have it in the background.
Maybe they'll get the hint.
They should get the hint.
Like
the way you speak,
Michelle, if you're watching,
they should be like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, Michelle, if you're watching, thank you for bringing Tito's into my life. It's amazing. Because you remember, Michelle's the one who got me on Tito's when we were in Florida.
Wait, you just got on to Tito's? Tito's has been the best vodka for like ever.
I was a Grey Goose guy for a while.
Oh, well, can't go wrong with Grey Goose. But Tito's doesn't burn your wallet as much. So there you go. Back to spirit boards. One thing I'll say if you do want to use them is have somebody you trust, because the worst thing you can do is have somebody who does fake stuff, or somebody who does try to bring in the dark entities, the demons, if you will, whatever have you. Just do it with somebody you trust. I wouldn't do it with anybody. I've never done it with anybody that I don't trust. And to be honest with you, I mean, Caleb, I'd do it with you in a freaking heartbeat. And to be honest with you, next time we see each other in Ghost Hunt, I'm down to do a sesh. How about you?
I'm down.
Let's do it.
My opinion, I'm down to do it. But my last call, closing thoughts on the Ouija board. Don't be a bitch. It's a fucking talking board. Just because it bothers you, oh my God, because it sets you off wrong, don't take that from other people. Let people do what they want to do and be happy investigating and getting evidence and responses the way they want to. Just because you think it's an open door to the hell itself, there are people out there who don't even believe in hell. So go fuck yourself. Like, make sure that when it comes to what other people are doing, mind your own. If you don't like it, don't like it. You don't have to like it. I'm not saying go out there and like it. I'm saying let the person who does enjoy it. Your opinion, as much as you think is the bee's knees and the be-all end-all, everybody has one. And everybody should be entitled to do whatever makes them happy. And if playing with the Ouija board makes an investigator happy, let them do it.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, what do? You leave. Just leave the room, leave the building, whatever it is. It's that easy. I would never take like I said earlier, I would never take anything away from anyone who wanted to experiment, especially with the paranormal, with the other side, because that's why I do what I do. That's why you do what you do. We experiment and we see what the hell happens. And look what's happened.
Everything we do
happen on our podcast.
Everything we do is in theory. Everything we do is in theory. So for somebody to say this is the right way versus the wrong way, no. We get to do what we want to do in this field to try to produce results for the people we're trying to help. This isn't results to get you more likes on Facebook or Instagram. Our job in what we do is to help people, right? To help souls, living or dead. That's our job. So the moment you pull your head out your ass and realize this isn't about religion, this isn't about what gets you the most views and the most likes, when you realize that what you're doing is everything in your power to help the person or the soul that's suffering in the situation, that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree. And to add to that, education. We're here to educate and educate and educate about what the hell could possibly be next. But guess what? That education is just a theory. It's just an opinion. Because guess what? We're still living on this earth. So be open to any of the possibilities. Caleb, with what you said was money. And on that note, my brother, episode 5 wraps. Sorry we didn't get to talk about Ouija boards as much as possible in the origins, but guess what? We had a freaking ghost visit. Not our fault.
You don't get to have, that, like, you can have whoever the fuck you want to show up on a podcast, but when you have a ghost show up on your podcast, you kind of win. Like,
this is great. I cannot, I love it. This episode was great. I can't believe that happened.
Thank you for choosing Booz and Broz. Tune in next week. Make sure that you watch us on all the platforms. Give us views, give us likes, give us money. Let's go.
Wow. Coming from the horse's mouth. I agree. All right, brother. Guys, we will see you next week. Happy October again. We love you guys. Say goodbye to my friend, Ghosty, Mr. I guess.
Hi, Ghosted Cocktail on the wall. It's Ghosted.
Ghosted Cocktail.
Ghosted. Yeah.
Ghosted, baby. All right. Later, guys.
Later.